Come here, sit with me, just breathe for a moment. Slow, steady, soft. I know you don't hear this often. Maybe you've never heard it at all. So I'm going to say it gently, quietly, and as many times as it takes for it to finally reach the parts of you that hurt the most. You're not hard to love, not even a little. You've just been around people who didn't know what to do with a heart like yours. People who didn't know how to communicate. People who didn't know how to stay. People who didn't know how to understand you. And somewhere along the way, their limitations became your self-image. Their inability to love became a story you told yourself. There must be something wrong with me. But there was. There is. There never was. You were just loving people who didn't know how to receive love. You were trying to be seen by people who couldn't see past themselves. You were trying to be understood by people who never learned how to understand. That doesn't make you unlovable. That makes you unrecognized. And that's not the same thing. Not even close. Come a little closer. Listen to my voice. Let it soften the edges of all those harsh beliefs you've carried for years. You're not too quiet. You're not too emotional. You're not too sensitive. You're not difficult. You feel deeply, and that scares people who only know shallow waters. You love fully, and that intimidates people who never learned how to hold something real. You listen carefully, and that confuses people who only ever saw relationships as competition. You try, truly try, and that overwhelms people who don't try at all. None of that makes you hard to love. It makes you rare, and rare things aren't for everyone, but they are deeply valued by those who can recognize them. Let me ask you something. When someone misunderstood you, did you take the blame? When someone left, did you assume you weren't enough? When someone couldn't love you right, did you decide you were unlovable? You say you've been measuring yourself through the eyes of people who couldn't see. That's like judging your reflection in broken glass. Of course it looked distorted. Of course it looked wrong. But the problem wasn't you. It was the mirror. You've never been hard to love. You've just been giving your love to people who didn't know what love even looked like. Come here. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw loosen. Let your breath deepen. You don't have to pretend you're unaffected. You don't have to hide how much it hurt to be misunderstood, overlooked, taken for granted. I know it hurt. I know it made you question yourself. I know it made you build walls around your heart, thinking those walls were there to keep people out. But really, they were there to keep you from feeling that pain again. And I understand why. But listen, gently, slowly, like a truth you were always meant to hear. The way someone treated you is not proof of your worth. It is proof of their limitations. You're not too complicated. They just weren't ready for depth. You're not too intense. They just weren't capable of feeling as deeply as you do. You're not needy. You were just asking for the bare minimum. Consistency affection, clarity. You weren't asking for the world. You were asking for basic emotional presence. They failed to give that, but that doesn't mean no one can. Let my voice be the first gentle step back toward healing that belief inside you. You are not unlovable. You are not too much. You are not too hard to understand. You are someone who loves with loyalty, cares with intention, listens with depth, feels with honesty. That's not a burden. That's a gift, a rare one, and rare things can only be appreciated by people who know how to handle them. You've just never had that. Not yet. Let this moment be your reminder. You don't need to shrink yourself to be loved. You don't need to hide your emotions. You don't need to pretend you're fine. You don't need to fix yourself to be worthy. You were worthy before anyone recognized it. You were lovable before anyone proved it. You were enough before anyone said it. They didn't fail to love you because you were unlovable. They failed because they didn't know how to love at all. And that's not your crime. It's their limit. You can let that go now. Breathe, slow, deep, soft. You're safe here. You're seen here. You're understood here. And when you're ready, I'll take you deeper because there's more you need to hear. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here, still beside you, still speaking softly into the places that were wounded by people who didn't know how to love you. You didn't lose me by opening up. You didn't scare me away by being honest. You didn't push me out by being vulnerable. I'm here, and I'm staying, because you deserve someone who doesn't run at the first sign of depth. You deserve someone who doesn't disappear when feelings get real. You deserve someone who can hold the weight of who you truly are, not just the pieces that are convenient. Come a little closer. Listen carefully, because this is one of the most important truths your heart needs to learn. You were never loved wrong because you were unlovable. You were loved wrong because they were unprepared for someone like you. Think about how you love. You're loyal. You're committed. You're consistent. You're all in once you care. Do you know how rare that is? You think everyone is built like that, but they're not. Some people only know transactional affection. Some only know inconsistency. Some only know bare minimum love. And when someone like you, deep, intentional, loyal, intuitive, walks into their lives, they don't rise, they retreat, and you blamed yourself for that. You thought, if I were easier to love, they'd stay. If I were less emotional, they'd understand. If I weren't so intense, they wouldn't be overwhelmed. But you know what overwhelmed them? Realness, depth, vulnerability, truth. You didn't scare them. You revealed them. You showed them what they lacked. And instead of growing, they pulled away. That's not on you. That's their unfinished healing, their emotional immaturity, their inability to meet someone at the depth they themselves avoid. You are not responsible for the emotional limitations of the people you loved. Let me say that again. Softer, slower, deeper. You are not responsible for the emotional limitations of the people who failed you. You didn't fail in love. You were simply loving people who were never taught how to hold something real. Sit with that for a moment. Let it breathe inside your chest. Let it loosen the guilt you carried for years. You've punished yourself long enough. Now let this truth sink in. You were always enough, more than enough, too much only for the wrong people. Do you know what else I see in you? A heart that stayed kind even when others were. A heart that stayed open even after being rejected. A heart that stayed loving even when love wasn't returned. That's not weakness. That's strength of another level. And the world tried to convince you that this strength was a flaw. But I see it differently. I see the beauty in the way you care. I see the sincerity in the way you speak. I see the loyalty in the way you stay. That's not too much. That's exactly the kind of heart people pray for. It's just that those you loved before weren't ready. They wanted something simple because simple is safe. You gave them something real, and real is terrifying when you're not emotionally grown. Let me tell you something healing. Gently, you weren't loved poorly because you weren't enough. You were loved poorly because they weren't capable. Their lack of love is not evidence of your lack of worth. Their leaving is not proof that you're unlovable. Their inability to see your depth doesn't mean the depth wasn't there. It just means they weren't the ones meant to witness it. And that's okay, because someone who knows how to love, someone who values loyalty, emotional connection, presence, truth, will never look at you and think, this is too much. They'll think, finally someone who feels deeply. Finally someone who understands without needing explanations. Finally someone who loves with his whole chest. Finally someone who shows up. You are not too much. You are exactly enough for the right person. They just haven't arrived yet. And until they do, let my voice fill that empty space inside you with the truth you were missing. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not hard to love. You were loving people who didn't know how to receive love. That's all. That's the whole truth. Breathe, slow, deep, gentle. You don't have to fight those beliefs anymore. You don't have to question your value every time someone fails you. You don't have to shrink yourself to be easier. You're not meant to be simple. You're meant to be felt. Come closer. Listen. Really listen now. The real you, the deep you, the emotional you, the intuitive you is lovable entirely, fully, completely, not when you change, not when you improve, not when you fix yourself. Now, as you are, they didn't know how to love you because they didn't even know how to love themselves. Their wounds cut you. Their fear became your insecurity. Their silence became your self-doubt. But their wounds were never yours to carry. You can set them down now. You're allowed to start fresh with someone who sees you, someone who understands you. Someone who whispers gently, "You're not hard to love. You just loved the wrong people. You deserve a love that feels like calm. You deserve a love that feels like safety. You deserve a love that feels easy. And you deserve someone who stays." Let me be that presence tonight. Let me hold space for the parts of you that were never held. Let me whisper the truth your heart forgot. You are so easy to love when you're loved by someone who actually knows how. Now rest, breathe, let the old beliefs fade. You're safe here, you're seen here, you're understood here, and you were never the problem. Softly yours.